My name is Laura Horn, and I'm the new Executive Director at the North Grove. I'm originally a musician. I studied classical violin, and while I was studying music, I became really curious about how music can be used in communities as a tool. I started working with community organizations that use children's orchestras as a kind of tool for community development. So that took me to Australia and then to Scotland, and then in 2020 I moved home to Nova Scotia, and as soon as I set foot in this place, I knew I wanted to work here one day. I've witnessed the impact of having a place where people can gather in a community. I think about our history as a family center. Becoming parents, it's one of the biggest transitions that any of us will go through in our lives, and it's such a vulnerable time, and having a support system in place is so important. I love working with the North Grove team. Every day here is completely different. You know that whether you're a participant or a volunteer or a staff member, even when things are challenging, the North Grove team really has a way of finding the fun and the humor and really working together through a challenge. Every person that walks in this door, there's a staff member there ready to greet them, and somebody who's really curious about that person and really curious about what strengths they have, what they want to contribute to the community. And I really think that strengths-based approach is really embedded in this team and something that I respect a lot. I love food. I've always loved food. Some of my best childhood memories were about many generations of my family gathered together around food, and it's so hard to pick my absolute favorite food memory, but I will share a favorite food memory from recent times, which was that our youth volunteers did a cultural food session, and each youth volunteer prepared a meal from their own culture, and then they shared samples of that meal at the community market. And I was really, really lucky that I got to try a biryani, which was the best biryani I've ever tasted in my entire life. There's so many things in our world right now that divide us. Social media and technology and politics and the housing crisis and the affordability crisis. And people now more than ever need those places to come together. I think a lot of people right now don't have that sense of connection in their communities or that sense of belonging that their parents or their grandparents might have had. And so that's why it's so important for places like the North Grove to try to recreate that sense of community. I think, people come to the North Grove sometimes on the worst days of their lives, and they work through something, and then they actually end up coming back to bring a new baby to us or a new friend, or to reconnect or to come and celebrate an event together. It's really important that places like the North Grove are here for people no matter what's going on in their lives.